Hey, what's up? John Shred here, and today I am unboxing this brand new Asus ProArt X870E motherboard that Asus sent me. So thank you very much for sending over the board. I'm gonna unbox it today, kind of check out all the different parts, show you kind of what my initial take is on the board before I get it installed. All right, let's get this thing unboxed. Okay. Take the actual motherboard, I'll put it aside for a sec. Quick start guide. Sure, some downloads. Okay, what do we have here? This is a slider that goes in the M.2 slot if you have a shorter M.2. Cool. Connector for your motherboard, for your power switch, reset switch, pretty standard. These are extra little tabs for your M.2 slots, connectors, some pads for your M.2, great. More pads, most likely from the bottom side of your M.2. More pads, cool. SATA cables. This is a DisplayPort cable. We'll talk about it later. It connects to the back of your GPU to the back of the motherboard if you want to use USB-C. A lovely little ruler comes with pretty much all of the ProArt goodies. It's actually a motherboard, piece of motherboard, whatever, you know. And then a Wi-Fi antenna. This board does come with Wi-Fi 7, and they did change the connectors, which we'll get into a little later when we look at the back of the board. Cool. Accessory-wise, pretty standard, nothing too crazy there. Let's grab the actual board. It's nice, they actually put a foam piece on the bottom of the motherboard, which is kind of nice. I will actually not use this and use that foam piece. See, foam, pretty cool. Okay. Overall, the aesthetic is very ProArt. We have all the logos, rulers. If you are like me and you're a big fan of the ProArt series, the design is cool. And they've really just added a couple neat little like curves, just small elements to things here. Even the VRAM heatsink, if you could see it from, hold on, it's just such a cool angle. If you can see it from, yeah, it's like a, you can see the air coming through there. And this piece here is slightly raised. Just neat little touches that we'll get into as we go through it. Okay, what else? As you probably already know, this is AM5, so it's good for your AMD 7000, 8000, 9000 processors. That's easy peasy. DDR5 up to 192 gigs. I don't know who's using that much RAM at this stage. I'm standard at around 64 myself for my creator systems, but let me know if you're using more at 128 even. And if you are, at what speed are you running that RAM? I'm curious, leave a comment down below. What else is interesting about this? This is a nice little heat shield. We'll talk about that. It kind of pops on and off for your M.2. Let's see how easy that goes back. Wow, that is easy. Okay, cool. That's really cool. I like that. That heat shield is pretty cool. PCI Express 5.0 for your GPUs. If you do use two of them, it drops down to 8. Same, pretty standard. There's an M.2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are kind of 4 spots. This guy and this guy are controlled by the CPU, and then these two here are controlled by the chipset. Also pretty standard. This last PCI Express is a 4X spot that is controlled by the chipset. All that is pretty standard, at least up to the kind of standards as you watching this video. What else jumps out? Let's see if we can go around and kind of look at some of the connectors here. So starting at the bottom, cool audio jack, cool built-in audio, yeah, COM port. Chassis fan, there's a bunch of chassis fans kind of all around the board, which is nice. Your 5-volt, a 3-pin ARGB, which is cool, 2 of those. USB, there's 3 USB headers, which is nice. Some motherboards only have 2, so it's fine to have 3. SATA, which is cool, is 2 there. I'm pretty sure we have more along the side. We have 2 temperature sensors, and then there's actually a chassis intrusion connector, which is cool. I didn't know that was a thing. I'll be curious to go look and see if the ProArt PA602 has that feature that you can connect a cable. I didn't see one in the box, but that would be neat. The fact that they did put it on their motherboard. More chassis, and then your pinout for your reset switch. So that's kind of all along the bottom here. What else do we have? 2 more SATA ports that are connected the opposite way. I don't know, you can see those. Yeah, there you go. USB 3.0 here, more chassis fan header, USB-C for the front of your case. Which is nice, your 24 power, keep going around. We have another ARGB, cool, I don't know what this is, CPU OV, no idea, I will look that one up. What are these? This looks like there's covers on all these. 14, CPU over voltage jumper. Cool, no idea what that does. Anyone has an idea, please leave a comment down below. What are the other 4 things here? Fan and pump headers, cool. So they're covered here. It's interesting they have a little cover. The other ones don't seem to have a cover, but there's a tiny little cover, like a rubber cover that goes over top of the pins. I'm not sure why those ones do not, maybe because they're at the top of the motherboard and you're getting kind of radiator. Oh, I might have messed it up. And so it might hit that, and then you have your two 8-pin power connectors for your CPU. Okay, swinging around to the back I/O panel. So there we go, that looks better. Okay, starting the top here, we have HDMI. It's just whatever you want to use HDMI, it's great. Mainly just for testing. I assume you probably have a GPU. Your DPI in, remember I said if you have the cable, you use this cable here, you can connect it from the back of your GPU into that display port in. It's so that you can use one of the 2 USB 4 connectors for a display that uses USB. So, and then it still of course uses the GPU. Lots of USB-A. They're all 10 gigabit except the one that's USB 2 for your BIOS reset, a BIOS reset switch. I have used that so many times. I will not buy a motherboard that does not have this BIOS flashback. It saved me so much when you buy it and your CPU isn't supported and you have to flash it with a CPU in there. Absolutely love that feature. 10 gigabit and 2.5 gigabit Ethernet. This is one of the only motherboards that has 10 gigabit on board. Super cool. Are you using 10 gigabit yet? Have you upgraded your network? I'm still on 1 gigabit, so even 2.5 is great. I'm running Wi-Fi 6 in the house. Next step is this does have Wi-Fi 7. Let me know if you think I should go buy a Wi-Fi 7, Wi-Fi access point, Ubiquity. If you're watching this, please hook me up. I'd love to test the speeds. I'm running 6, not even 6E, just 6. And I mean, it's amazing. But I would really love to test 7, especially my iPhone 16 Pro Max also has Wi-Fi 7, so I'd like to test the speeds on that. And then your audio connectors here on the end. Okay, what else? Let's pull off a couple of these, and we'll see what's below. Okay, please note it is one big piece, so you do have to take all 4 screws out. But the screws are connected. They won't fall out. So that's always a nice little touch. Pads on the bottom, which is great. So yeah, one M.2 here, another one here, longer ones, shorter ones. So you can use 4, which is pretty nice. All of them have this nice little quick connector thing, which makes it super easy. Like I said, there's a couple more of those in the box in case you happen to break one. There's a couple extras. Okay, what else to note? Let's go back to this M.2. There's a thermal pad on the top and the bottom, which is nice. What I'm seeing, if you do have an M.2 with chips on the bottom side, it may not clip back in properly. Like I said, everyone that I've used in the past while is single-sided, which is totally great. You don't even have to worry about this thermal pad in the bottom. Kind of leave it as is. Unconnect this, slap it in. It literally just, actually you can see that. There's like a little bit of a, it just, slides in and snaps in. It's super easy. And then this guy is actually way easier than I thought. It's so easy. Look at that. Like boom, in, out, in. Cool. Nice. I have heard that the GPU also, if you put a GPU in here, these are now the auto retract when you, do I have it? I do have a GPU. Bring it back. All right, don't judge. This is an old Sapphire AMD RX 464 gigabyte. Whoo, watch out. So let's see if I pull this off to the side and I click this in. Okay, cool. So that's seated. So ideally, the video I was watching says you can just pull on it. Yeah, and it comes back out. Huh, pretty easy. So it saves you having to try and get your finger way down inside and push it. I know a few of the RG Strix motherboards, they have a button over here. You press on the button and it releases this, which is also cool. I really like that. But if it means you don't also have to find the button, I'm sure there's a mechanism that connects and how to do it. This seems like a new thing. I'm curious if some of the other motherboards will have that same connector, which is pretty cool. What else do you need to know about this motherboard? If you are using an 8000 series Ryzen CPU, there are a few quirks based on the fact that the 8000 series doesn't support certain features. Example, you can't use the second GPU slot, okay, no biggie. And also this M.2 is also hooped. So it still means you get 3, which is good. But considering that this guy and this guy are both 5th gen PCI Express, if you're using a 7000 or 9000 series CPU, if you're using an 8000 series, they're both 4 gen. So could affect your speeds. I know I most recently put in a 5th gen SSD in my system and I love it. When I switched systems, I can't wait to kind of see now that it supports 2. There is a chance I'm still using for my media drive. It's like a 2 terabyte drive that I use to put all my videos on when I'm editing. It's a Samsung 980 Pro, which is a 4X PCI Express. So it would be cool maybe to upgrade to a drive that is faster. Not sure it'll make any difference when I'm editing or scrubbing footage, but it is something that to know that this motherboard does support that. What else? I mean, VRAM wise, it's 16 by 2 by 2, which is great. Like I say, this is mainly a workhorse motherboard. I wouldn't be overclocking the trunk out of it. I mean, it's just it's more of a stability system. I mean, you want to use your NVIDIA studio drivers. It's all about stability, and I think this board is pretty cool for that. So I will be installing a 9950X into this board. So stay tuned. I actually am, my main system is a 13900K. I'm gonna take that out, put it into my test bench. I wanna build this system, use it as my primary for a bit, and then we'll switch over to, Asus also sent me the equivalent, we'll call it equivalent, Z890 ProArt board on the Intel side of things. So I'll unbox that as well and talk about that and the differences. There's a few key differences based on the chipset itself. But what I want to do is literally have 2 separate systems, both the same chassis, but one being an AMD 9950X and one being an Intel Ultra 285, and run those side by side to really find out which one will work better for my use. And I mean, I do a tiny little bit of gaming, but it's mainly content creation. So that's it. If you have any other questions, kind of let me know. If you're looking at this, if you're comparing it to any other board, if you are on the fence between AMD and Intel, let me know. Like I say, stay tuned, and I will have the Intel side of things shortly. But yeah, this is it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.